Hey guys, it's Sam, and I'm here to announce Tome Topple Round 12. So we've been having a lot of Tome Topple rounds this year, but I figured it's a good time for it because I know a lot of us, we're stuck at home, we can't do much, so why not get through some of those big books that we've been meaning to get to. So we've had a Tome Topple about every other month or so, and yeah, that's great. But we're gonna have a break after this summer round until November, like when we usually do rounds. So it'll go back to our normally scheduled programming moving forward. But this round of Tome Topple is taking place from August 8th to August 21st. So if you are new to Tome Topple, that is in your time zone. So it starts at midnight on August 8th and goes to 11:59 p.m. in your time zone on August 21st. And the whole point of Tome Topple is to read books over 500 pages. That is the only goal. So although I am going to talk about some challenges and stuff that we do have that you can choose to pick your TBR if you have a lot of things to choose from or you just want to make more of a game out of it, you don't need to. All you need to know is, hey, this is when we're doing it. We're going to run some Twitter sprints and stuff, and you can join in. Not even on the sprints if you don't want to. Just read a book over 500 pages in that time period. Use it as motivation. Whatever you want to do. This is a very chill readathon. So we do have a Twitter that's Tome_Topple, and you can use the hashtag Tome Topple to talk to other people about what you're reading. But we do run Twitter sprints just kind of whenever all of the co-hosts are available. We sign up for slots, and there's Twitter sprints that happen there if you need that for motivation. But again, you don't have to join in with that if you don't want to. So this round, we have a lot of returning co-hosts and a new one as well. We have Audrey from Perpetual Pages, Sarah Jane from The Book Life, Sean from Reader's Rambles, Sam from Will Read for Booze, Gaia on Instagram at La Latrice Greta, Kaz from Little Book Owl, and we are joined by Tori from Tori Morrow. We do also have a Goodreads group, but we don't really use that a lot because none of the co-hosts really enjoy Goodreads as a platform for like group reading and stuff, but we do have people posting TBRs on there. You can talk to other people on there and get recommendations for books and stuff if you don't know what to read to fit certain categories, things like that. So this round's challenges, I have a few returning topics, but I did mix some things up a bit, add a little spice to that. So the prompts for this round are read of the book that has been in your TBR the longest, read a tome that's an audiobook, the tome that you've most recently acquired. So that can be something that you've bought, been gifted, been sent, or from the library. A standalone tome. We always have the challenge of reading at least one tome. A tome written by a Black author. A tome from a genre you don't usually read. A tome on your TBR with the most pages, and a tome that you started during another round of Tome Topple. Since there's been 12, I know a lot of people comment sometimes on if they can read books that they started in another Tome Topple. The answer is yes if you've only read it during Tome Topple, but this is a prompt specifically for that. And as per usual, bringing back the little bingo card. It's a bingo card even though we're not really trying to get bingo, but it's the most efficient way to do things. So based on how many challenges you complete, you get a certain title. 1 to 3 categories, you are a student. 4 to 6 categories, you are a scholar. And 7 to 9 categories, you are a sage. And one book can only count for 2 categories. So even if you have a book that applies to 3 or 4 categories, you can only use it for 2 of those categories. We also do have Instagram challenges. We have Instagram challenges every time. I really encourage you guys to get involved on Instagram as well because it's really just fun to see all of you guys' books and all the pretty books and things like that. Here are this round's Instagram challenges, but I will also be posting this on my Instagram sometime today after this video goes up so you can see these in more detail and start planning your photos. I will have in the description all the information about Tome Topple, the co-hosts, the dates, the links to the Twitter, the links to the Goodreads, as well as tome recommendations for books written by Black authors. Now, as far as my TBR, as you guys know, my TBR is getting down to like, I'm under 10 books on my physical TBR, which is astounding. And my birthday just so happens to be on August 12th. So I know I'm going to be getting some books, potentially tomes, during that time for my birthday. So my TBR could change. Having said that, based on what I physically own right now, here's what I will be aiming to read. Of what I currently have in my TBR, I actually only have 4 books over 500 pages. 2 of those I plan on reading still in July. So next month, I plan on picking up The Warrior Moon by Kate Arsenal Rivera. Yes, this is the 3rd and final book in the Our Bright Ascendancy series. The 2nd book I read, I think, during the last Tome Topple and didn't really enjoy, but a lot of people that said they read the series said that the last book is good, and since this is the last book that I had and I already owned it, I figured I could read it. We'll see how I feel. These books are fairly fast for me to read, although this is a chunky one. I mean, they're all chunky, but this one's like especially chunky. This is an Asian-inspired fantasy series. I say Asian because it's actually inspired by a number of different Asian cultures and not just one. So this is an Asian fantasy setting featuring 2 warrior women in love who are like basically demigods, and this is the end of their story, so I'm close to the end, might as well finish it. And either this book or the other book that I plan on reading have the most pages on my TBR, and this is the tome I've had the longest of the ones that are left. Then I plan on reading Blood Upon the Sand by Bradley Baleo. I believe it's either a 5 or 6 book series. A book recently came out, I think the 5th one. But this is a desert fantasy, and it follows our main character of Seda, and she is an elite warrior, like a pit fighter, and she ends up wanting to infiltrate the ranks of the king's assassins because the 12 kings in Shirakai killed her mother for some unknown reason, and she wants to infiltrate their core assassin group to assassinate all of them. But they are all basically gods with all these individual kinds of powers, and she has to take them all down. We love a revenge quest. First book was so good and atmospheric, and I'm very excited to get to the second one. This is a series that I want to try to catch up on as much as possible. Then I don't really have any audiobooks, although I might look and see if there's any audiobooks that I want to read, but I don't really have any audiobooks I want to read or genres I don't usually read from. If I get some tomes for my birthday, then those would cover tomes that I most recently acquired, and I'm also asking for a couple of tomes by Black authors, one of them specifically being the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, which I would love to start. I typically read a lot of N.K. Jemisin during Tome Topple because she writes big books, chunky books. So that is it for my plans for Tome Topple and also the Tome Topple announcement. Comment down below and let me know if you guys will be joining us for this round of Tome Topple and what you plan on reading. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.